Hello, guys. Welcome back to the Off Balance podcast. Today we have another breakdown for you. I'm Pierre Olivier Leclerc, and I'm here with you guys to break down some new footage that we have that we digged from Flow Grappling. By the way, I'd like to say thank you to Flow Grappling for uh, letting us use the footage. So today, actually, we're gonna break down ADCC match that I feel has been a bit too much like low key. It's Garry Tonon's first match against Mateusz Gamrot from Poland. And the reason why I'm saying it's low key is uh, because Gary had that match with Canuto that actually won match of the year, best match of the year by the Full Grappling Awards. So it was all over the screen. And I feel like his first match of the day with Mateusz was an amazing display of takedown techniques into back control into a finish. So I gathered a bit of footage for you guys to be able to see what happened, and we're gonna start explaining this. All right. So let's get on the footage. So just so you guys know, if you do not know Mateusz Gamrot, he's the winner of ADCC European trials. He's, I believe, an MMA fighter. He's like 15-0 or something. It's completely insane. He's from Poland, strong wrestling background, and pretty dangerous, like especially in the wrestling department. I do not have the beginning of the match because that's not what I want to like stay on, but focus on, I should say. But it was a good, interesting beginning because Gary's a good wrestler too, and he's proven that in the past. And Matthias was snapping down Gary a lot, and Gary was trying to shut, and there was some guard exchange. But the most interesting thing starts with this footage right here, where I'm going to show you the takedown Gary gets in order to get to the back, and we're going to break it down a bit. All right, so let's get started. Such a quick sequence. All right, we're gonna have to start rewinding right away. Um, Such a beautiful takedown, and the setup is really interesting. It all starts with the whizzer right here. Okay, so Gary grabs a whizzer, obviously as a defense from the underhook of Matthias, and from that whizzer, Matthias doesn't like it because he knows Gary's really good at shooting Kenny Basami, scissor takedown, and stuff like that. So Matthias will try to limp his arm out, and as he does so, right here, yeah, right here. See how he's trying to limp arm out of this? Gary's doing a good job of grabbing a 2-on-1. So let's see it happen. There you go. So Gary just used the limp arm to go into a 2-on-1. All right. Now, this is the setup Gary is looking for. What he's doing right now is with that 2-on-1, he's putting a lot of weight on it. See, he's putting his whole body into it, so it's hard to pull out of it. And he's actually lowering his head down towards the ground. Okay. Now, what that does, he actually gives to Matthias his head to snap down. All right. Just here. Now, Matthias, it's a good answer. He sees the head, and the 2-on-1 doesn't seem like so frightening. So he's going to commit all his weight. Oh, my bad. All his weight over the head here. So all his weight is towards the ground. So Gary, what he does in order to execute the takedown, it's like a foot sweep. He's gonna step out. See that foot is stepping out to create kind of a like a hole here. I know it seems crazy a bit, but he's creating space with sorry about that. He's creating space with his foot, and his right foot's gonna go in, foot sweep all across, and fall on his right shoulder. So let's just see it in slow motion. All right. He just got his head snapped. He steps and commit to the foot sweep right here. And now all of Matthew's weight is going down towards the far shoulder, down to the mat. All right. So let's play it. Beautiful takedown. All right. I'm just going to rewind it a bit. All right. So as he foot sweeps him, the weight come down to the mat, and Matthias has the reaction of, because he doesn't want to accept the takedown. He's a wrestler too, so he's trying to like heist out of it. Matthias is going to turn his whole body towards the outside, which is actually pretty bad decision at that moment. It's hard to say, but Garry is an expert at the back. So Gary's going to follow up and grab right away a tight waist right there. So it exposes the back. All right. Now let's get into the back attack and back control. Okay. Let's just undo this. Now let's see what happened. The angle's going to change. All right. Garry just got the takedown and he's controlling the position. Now, what's interesting is he's using that kind of seatbelt, tight waist at the same time. He's switching from one to the other. By that, I mean this arm right here, and he has the seatbelt right here. All right. He's like connecting and switching into controlling the waist or getting back to the seatbelt. And he's trying to get his hips over Mateusz's hips. All right. So let's see what's happening here. See, he's trying to get the hips over. And it's a hard thing because Mateusz, as a wrestler, is looking for a leg at all time. And this is preventing Garry to get a proper position without falling over. If Garry commits and try to jump this leg over the back, what's going to happen? His weight is going to fall over and he might lose the position. So Gary's knows better. He knows better than that. All right, let's see what happened. So Mateusz has a 2-on-1 on the leg, see, right here. So it's very annoying. Gary's going to try to clear that or get on top. He's waiting. He's patient. Makes sense. All right, Mateusz trying to get up on the takedown. Hard thing to do. All right, this is a tricky position, all right? Whenever you're on someone's back and you have like a seat belt, but he's turning into like almost a high crutch. See how like Mateusz was turning almost into like trying to attack this leg of Garry, his right leg. He's trying to like reach, and he has a like kind of a double leg because he wants Garry on his back to maybe turn and get on top. But it's a hard thing to do because Gary's keeping the seatbelt. All right, so we're gonna see what Garry does in order to get out of this. Beautiful action. All right, let's just go back a second. Mateusz has these grips on the ankle here, but they're very hard to deal with for himself because it's not a really strong grip. So as he loses it, he's gonna try to explode out this way, but that exposes his back, and Gary's gonna sit back. See right here, sitting back, and he's shooting his hook over. Now once again, he's trying to get to the back. Now the points are on too. They just started 5 minutes in. Now Garry has his hips over Mateusz, and he has a strong seat belt. All right. But his hooks are not in yet. So he needs to figure out a way to turn Mateusz to the back down to the mat and get one of his hooks in. And that's what he does beautifully. We'll see. See? He just sat back and now he's threatening a hook on this side and the other hook that we're not seeing. That's right on the other side. Now he just got his hook in. It's beautiful. And now he can start turning and getting his body triangle. All right. Gary's going to... That's interesting, though. I didn't even see that in the first time, but if I rewind a bit, Garry has like kind of a like body triangle cross ankle here. Should I say here? And he could turn it to his right side, so towards this side, but he does not. He closes it on the other side, on the left side of Mateusz. And the reason why he does that, he knows Mateusz is trying to get his hips down to the mat here. So it breaks it down. All right, let's see it. See, he closes his back triangle right on the left side, right here. Now he's doing head placement. Okay, now another thing that's really, really interesting in that match is Garry has a really good back control, but it's not easy because Mateusz is doing a good job of always misaligning his back. If you guys can see right now on the screen, Mateusz's back, or Gary's back, should I say, is pointing almost to the side, right? This direction. As opposed to Mateusz, his back is pointing more towards this direction. He's trying to get his back down to the mat here. And if he do so by getting his head to the left side and getting his back to the mat, Garry will lose the position. So Gary's trying to keep his head wedged in to prevent him from doing that, but he might be losing the back. Okay, so let's see what happened in order for Garry to prevent him or prevent Mateusz to get his back to the mat. All right, he has a body triangle, so it's a hard time. He's trying to wedge his head in, and now he goes overhook on the other side. See how he just inserted that right arm over the shoulder? Let's just rewind a bit. See, so he went from a seat belt right here to an overhook right there. Why does he do that? The reason why is Garry's feeling his back is not really aligned. And in back, like when you want to keep back control, you need to be aligned chest to the spine as much as possible at all time. So Garry brings his right arm across in order to create cross control on the back. So he has control over this hip right here. Oh, that was beautiful, beautiful arrow. So he has control over the hip on the right side with his body triangle and his legs. And now he has control over the left shoulder. It creates a cross side control. All right. What that does is it prevents Mateusz from bringing his back to the mat. It creates a cross side control here. And Mateusz cannot bring his back down to the mat anymore because he has, half of Garry's body in the way. His head is stuck on the shoulder. All right. And we're going to see how Garry uses it to get back into a better position. All right. So Garry's fighting. He's getting back to the seatbelt. You'll see him again trying to get back to cross control. They're fighting the hooks. Garry gets he's almost losing the back right now. See, he has the seatbelt, but he's like cross ankle, not even a body lock close over like Mateusz Gamrot arm, but at the same time is like he's very out to the side here. So he's almost losing it. But he's gonna go back into a overhook very soon. Now he has a better position. He has a body triangle. His head is wedged in. See, he goes back to the overhook. All right, let's see that again. So that angle doesn't show it as good, but Mateusz's back is like this, and Garry's back it's more like this. Okay, so Garry goes overhook, and he controls the lower body. So he has cross control like this. So it's hard for Mateusz to start going down this way. He has to either accept the position or try to turn the other way. All right, so Garry's going to use this to get. See, he's posting on the elbow. What that does, that creates space, a big hole here, where Garry can start scooting his hips under and get back to a more chest to spine position. All right, let's see how it happens. He's going to try to get under. See, he's posting. And now he gets into a better position. See how Garry used that. We're going to rewind a bit. Oh. So Garry uses the overhook to force Mateusz away. He forces Mateusz to go this way now because he cannot get his back on the mat. So he's turning the other way, which creates the space under him to take and readjust his back. All right, let's see it. Turns and gets his body triangle with a seat belt, beautiful position, into right away, real quick, a rear naked choke. So there's a lot going on. So we'll just like try to break this down. What happened so quick? All right, so quickly. As soon as Garry readjusted his body triangle, now notice he has an underhook right here and his overhook right here. So Mateusz has a hard time bringing his back down to the mat anymore here. It's very hard because the body triangle's in, the underhook is in, and it's very hard for Mateusz to go back down to the mat, okay? So instead, what he has to do now, almost his last escape or last resort, is to start turning the other way, to maybe turn and get an angle and try to misalign his back again. Now the problem is Gary is obviously a very good very good on the back and very good with the rear naked choke. That's why they call him the lion killer. He has a very good Mataleon. So as Gary turns, he's gonna shoot this arm deeper. But how does he do it? Pretty simple, actually. See how Matthias is controlling right here the top of Gary's left arm underhook, basically. He's gonna use this to punch it up as he turn in order to uh, get deeper with his right arm into the rear naked choke. See, it's hard to see on the screen, but we just see for a split second Gary's punching his underhook up to create the space right here for his right arm, his choking arm, to go deeper. All right. So let's see it. I'm just going to rewind a bit. We're going to put it in real time. So he punches up and the end past the shoulder line, and he gets his figure four behind the neck, and he starts applying pressure. Now, you guys are going to see it takes a pretty long time for Gary to finish, but it's actually a good thing. Gary knows what he's doing. He knows that if he just goes and pressure as hard as he can, he might get burnt out, and he's at the end of his fingers a bit. So what Gary's trying to do right now, he's bringing everything back down in a compression, and he's using his head. His two elbows are pressing down, and he's actually pressing into the neck. But there's one last detail that makes it really, really effective. Gary's going to retract his right elbow. And it's a slight adjustment, but on the rear naked choke, Gary's just retracting the elbow a bit at the end. And what that does, it goes and just cuts over the neck. And that's how he's building up pressure slowly but surely. And then he's going to get his finish. And might take 10, 15 seconds, 20 seconds. But at some point, you have to tap because it just go and compress everything. All right. It's not a quick submission. It takes time. So let's see it happening. And Mattis is tough, man. See? Now Gary's going to retract that elbow quite a bit, just a bit. Yeah, slowly compressing. It takes so much time, but such a beautiful submission. Gary's patient. He knows. Once he's there, he should finish. And a retraction, and we get the tap. Beautiful work by Gary. And Matthew is such a tough guy, man. Showing the heart like of the wrestler when he gets taken down. He's just like trying to get a leg, get onto something, turn into him, and just try to get out of it. But Gary, master of back control, so he was able to get the finish. All right, guys, that's it for the breakdown. I hope you guys enjoyed it. So basically, it just shows like obviously in an ADC setting, the wrestling is different because of the submission, but it shows that once you get to the back and you get a seat belt or like a tight waist, you can start like getting your hooks in, and from there, even with a like someone that fights really hard to get his back to the mat, if you understand the cross control that I was showing today, it makes you able to maybe force a turn to your opponent and realign your back. And not only when you force a turn, you can realign your back, but you can get a rear naked choke at the same time. All right. So on this note, let's get to the sponsors that I want to thank. Right, it's the support, like Taza would said. So we want to thank Mizo Studio first. That's where we're filming. Val behind the screen, obviously as usual, taking care of the tech. Great environment to train. We have open mat too on Wednesday, open to everyone. A lot of classes, women's classes, name it. Sometime I teach there, so you might want to come when I'm there, or maybe not, as you want. We get a lot of like I've seen Val. You've done a lot of how we call that seminars over the past with like guys from the United States, high level. That's sick. Next up, we have Scramble Canada. Obviously, best gear in the game. Apparel looking good, and amazing training gear. So you guys can get on that. You can go on the boutique online, or you can swing by Mizu Studio. We have the boutique here. Um, and if you want to save some money, you can use my code. It should be displayed, or you can use Taz's code. Whatever, just save some money and get some scramble stuff. Next up, Roll Forever. Betty. Betty has been supporting me and other athletes like Taza, like myself, obviously, and other athletes from the United States. It's a brand about this. The name says it. It's a brand about longevity and making sure people can roll for a long time, do jiu-jitsu for a long time. And she's been helping athletes get to competition, get the gold, or at least get experience. And there's some rash guard too now for supporting. She's organizing a lot of seminar, a lot of stuff. So if you guys want to get a rash guard, if you're in Montreal, hit me up on my Instagram. It will be my pleasure. If you know I'm training somewhere, come and say hi. Um, so that's it for Roll Forever. Then we have Kimura soap, best soap in the game, especially after training. If you're dirty, you need that sweet soap, tea tree oil. It's made cruelty free. A lot of good stuff. Smells good too. So what else you want anyway? Then we have Physiomentum, which I cannot stress enough. I think I've sent like 10 or 15 guys at Physiomentum because jiu-jitsu injuries happen sometimes, it's part of the game. But if you're in Montreal and you want the best physio to fix you up, go see Guy or Tom or anyone at Physiomentum. They're amazing. Get them a call, get an appointment, and you'll see. Even if you just want to improve your mobility or like your physicality in some or some like you want to learn how to deadlift properly, go see them. Next up, Origin Labs, the best whey protein, right? It's called Molk. Uh, they're giving some good supplements. If you want to save some money, we'll have a code up. All right. So that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll have some more breakdowns coming up your way. See ya.